This is a CBC podcast.
Hey, I'm Michelle Parisi, the woman behind Alone, A Love Story. Season 3 is coming out on February 5th. Love, sex, travel, motherhood, it's all in there. You don't expect anything less from me by now, do you? So put on some tea, make some space under the blankets, and get ready to hunker down with the final season of Alone, A Love Story.
Hey Canada, are you ready to see more and laugh more? From Vancouver, it's The Debaters! The Debaters, where comedians fight with facts and funny, and this audience picks the winner. Now here's a man who never grouses about the daily grind, Steve Patterson.
Hey! Hello, Canada! Welcome back to The Debaters. It's true, we are here in Vancouver, and locals will know that every day at noon, there is a horn that sounds loudly from Canada Place, and also a cannon in Stanley Park that goes off every night at 9 o'clock. The horn signifies lunchtime. Can't skip lunch. And the cannon lets you know that everything fun in Vancouver has shut down. I'm visiting from the Eastern time zone. I'm 3 hours ahead, so I thought that was the signal to let my Montreal friends know it was time to go out for the night. Are you ready to meet a pair of debaters who will come out guns blazing? What do you say? Me too. We'll always bet on this Charlie horse. It's Charlie Demers, ladies and gentlemen. Charlie Demers, comedian, author, bon vivant, raconteur. And this comic never gives a cold shoulder, only sharp elbows. It's Sean Cullen. Sean Cullen, there he is. Hello. He looks mischievous, as always. Your topic is Toronto versus Vancouver. Yeah. Okay, hold on. All right, stop booing, Sean. Stop it! Sean is proudly wearing his Citizen of Toronto shirt. The actual topic is Toronto versus Vancouver. Whose people have it worse? I guess I should have finished that the first time. Both cities have dropped in recent livability indexes, but to be honest, I don't know what either side is complaining about. You both had Hollywood A-lister Seth Rogen as the voice of your transit. Doesn't that make it a tie? Every other city had to make do with some generic voice telling them to keep their feet off the seats and to move back on the bus, and to check out the latest Seth Rogen movie on Netflix. Yeah, you're right. That joke was super bad. Moving on. Whereas a bigger city generally means bigger problems, be it resolved, the people of Toronto have it a lot tougher than the people of Vancouver. Sean, you're arguing for this, please. You have 2 minutes, starting now.
Toronto. The mere mention of her name inspires universal loathing. Imagine living in a place that guarantees you'll be hated wherever you go in this great country of ours. Just mentioning that you live in Toronto is enough to ensure that you'll be stabbed in the face. But there are other problems you have to face every day. Try finding somewhere to live that is in any way affordable. Toronto is a city where a rat-infested bungalow will cost you $7.1 million. And the renting isn't any better. A one-room bachelor apartment will cost you $3,000 a month. And you'll be molested by the bachelor who's already living there on a nightly basis. It helps if you can sublet some portion of the place you're living to another renter. I sublet my pants to a family of 3. But I have to leave my zipper open so they can get some fresh air. And the traffic. Commuting can add up to 3 days to your day. The only good thing about the roads in Toronto is that the potholes are so big you can curl up and sleep in them. But you have to pay rent. Toronto. No one hates it more than the people who have to live there.
Sean Cullen. Thank you, Sean. Now, to tell us that Vancouver has the top spot when it comes to bottoming out, here's hometown boy, Charlie Demers.
Thank you. The actor Peter Ustinov once famously described Toronto as being like New York run by the Swiss. What pithy remark did Peter Ustinov have about Vancouver? Did he call us Amsterdam run by the Chinese, or Hong Kong run by Mountain Equipment Co-op? No, he didn't say anything about Vancouver because, like a crack-addled mayor pulling on a glass pipe, Toronto takes up all the oxygen in the room. For decades, the problems of Toronto have been the problems of the nation, whether it's the Canadian Army saving Torontonians from ice, or Canadian hockey teams disappearing from the airwaves because of Toronto's 3-decade hockey strike. Nobody ever has time to hear what Vancouver is going through. Hey, there's sort of an opioid crisis going on over here. Not now! Daniel Day-Lewis just ate a stale Timbit, and the future of TIFF is in jeopardy. We may just be simple country bumpkins addled by organized crime with no money to fund our regional public transit system, dangling precipitously over the world's deadliest seismic fault line. But don't let the yoga pants fool you. We have our own troubles. Just because we're much, much better looking doesn't mean we don't suffer. Thank you.
Charlie Demers. Very close. Sean is already angry about this. It is time now for the bare knuckle round. We're debating whether Torontonians have it harder than Vancouverites. Well, listen up, beaches. CN is believing, so gridlock and load to big smoke your opponent. Get them running for Coover, or you'll be Surrey. I'ma start this thing while we're all still Yonge Street.
I think it's sad that you have to diss Toronto to make yourself look worse. I think that's a sad thing.
I think it's cute that you think Toronto is unaffordable.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, one thing that we can both agree on is that
Calgary's a dump.
Yeah, Calgary. Yeah. Exactly.
No.
Yeah. I mean, Vancouver, Toronto, they both have their problems, but at least it's not Moncton. I mean,
that place.
Moncton, I feel, whenever I see Moncton, I feel like I'm looking in a mirror. Half English, half French, and in terrible shape. Or Edmonton.
Yeah.
Ugh.
A river runs through it and keeps running as fast as it can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call it. That's the bare knuckle round. We're debating.
What? What's that over there?
We're debating.
What's that over there?
We are debating whether Toronto or Vancouver has it worse, which I thought we were debating, and then we just denigrated into how every other city is also not very good. And now it's just up to the editors. It is time now for the firing line. In my hand, I have a list of questions on Toronto versus Vancouver. Who has it tougher? Brought to you by Winnipeg. How the hell did we get in the middle of this? Here we go. On the PricewaterhouseCoopers Cities of Opportunities list, Toronto ranks 4th, while Vancouver appears where? Charlie.
On the X-Files.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. It's Sean.
Slightly north of Seattle.
Also true. Sean.
Hovering in the sky, shooting lasers.
Sean is trying to hypnotize Charlie now with his scary alien eyes. Toronto was 4th on the PricewaterhouseCoopers Cities of Opportunities list, while Vancouver was not on the list.
Stings.
Toronto's motto is diversity, our strength, while the motto for Vancouver is what? Sean Cullen?
Let's meet for coffee.
It was very well delivered. I'll give you 3 points. The crowd liked that one. And some of them are actually drinking coffee right now. Sean?
Seagulls are eating my face! What's that over there?
The actual answer to the question everyone has forgotten by now. The motto for Vancouver is by sea, land, and air we prosper.
Yawn.
That is the firing line, everybody. It is almost time for the Centennial Theatre audience to pick a winner, but first, here again to tell us why Vancouver knocks the T-Dot off the top spot for being not so hot. It's Charlie Demers.
Thank you. Every city has troubles. The difference is Toronto's allowed to talk about theirs. Oh, is it hard to find parking for a Raptors game? Try finding a parking spot at a Grizzlies game. Mark Cohen's famous song, Walking in Memphis, was about a Vancouver basketball fan trying to find his car. Vancouver's ocean and mountain scenery, like its acrylic pants, creates the false impression that everything is amazing. We suffer here in Vancouver. If you prick us, Toronto, do we not bleed? And if you bleed, Toronto, are you not pricks? Thank you.
Charlie Demers. Charlie Demers pointing out in the way that only he can that Vancouver has it tougher than Toronto. And a nice shout out for the Walking in Memphis song. Now, here again to tell us T is for Toronto and also tough, which Toronto has it, more so than Vancouver. It's Sean Cullen.
All right. I'd like to whine, and I deserve to whine. Because in Toronto, sure, we'll never have to worry about an earthquake or the ensuing tsunami. Because everyone will be dead by gun violence before any natural disaster can befall them. Vancouver has a beautiful ocean and mountains to look at. Every day you get up and look at those beautiful mountains. Look at that beautiful ocean. See the seals frolicking. You've got that, Vancouver, to look forward to every day. In Toronto, all we have is a giant concrete penis looming over us. And a lake that's so polluted that swimmers dissolve in the summer. The filth of the place. It's shocking. No, Toronto is a much harder place to live, and only a masochist will continue to live there. That said, I'm going to fly home, curl up in my pothole, and whip myself to sleep while a bachelor molests me. But only after I tell the people living in my pants to keep it down!
Sean Cullen says Toronto has it way worse than Vancouver. Charlie says Vancouver has it worse than Toronto. It's up to the audience to pick a winner. Who thinks that Sean, explaining Toronto's woes, had the best flow? Sean Cullen. A lot of support for Sean. And who, like Charlie, saying Van City deserves your pity? Charlie Demers. Pretty close. It's a tie. We both have it equally worse. Big hand for Sean Cullen and Charlie Demers, everybody.
Hey Debaters fans, we have a podcast. Subscribe today to have episodes and bonus content sent straight to your device. Go to cbc.ca/thedebaters for more. Now, back to Steve Patterson.
Hey North Van, are you ready for your next Debaters? Wow! Unbelievable! Suck on that, West Van! This comic is a real bottle of joy. Welcome, Sophie Buttle! Sophie Buttle, there she is, delightful, confident and ready, taking the podium to my right. And this performer never uses a stand-in. It's Jane Stanton. Jane Stanton. There she is. She's ready. She's taking the spot to my left. This is a debate that's about kids and their parents. We want to hear from the kids. Vacationing with your parents, is it a good idea? A lot of travel memoirs would be quite different if parents tagged along. Instead of on the road, it would be, we're making great time on the road. And Eat, Pray, Love would be, you should eat something. You're looking really skinny, and you know how you get when your blood sugar gets really low. You get to be a real grumpy bear. Pray, love. Now, I pray that you love this debate. So, whereas time together gets more precious as you age, be it resolved that adults should travel with their parents. Jane, you are arguing for this, please. You have 2 minutes, starting now.
New York. New York, St. Martin's, London, Paris, the city of love. These are all places I've traveled with my BFFs, my best friends forever, or my best parents forever. What monster doesn't want to travel with their aging parents? Sightseeing, going out for beautiful dinners, going to a museum, getting the senior discount. So good. I don't know how much time they have left on this earth. They're so old. Life is fast. Everything happens so quick nowadays. So why not just take a week for a little time with your folks and slow down? Slow down. To a speed that almost seems like you're not moving at all. And then you've reached retired parent speed. Old parent speed makes it impossible to not relax because it's like you're moving so slow. You're dead. It's so relaxing. Thanks, Steve.
Jane Stanton. Jane Stanton is all for adults traveling with their parents, or in her case, her BPFs. Thank you, Jane. Now, to tell us that traveling with your folks is a trip that she won't fall for, here's homebody Sophie Buttle.
So, when you travel on your own, you can be anyone you want to be. You can be a British spy if your accent is strong enough. And mine is. Harry Potter. But when you travel with your parents, you have to be exactly who you are. Nobody's going to believe you're a British spy if your mom tells every waiter you're about to have diarrhea. Parents are not fun to travel with. They get too stressed out about everything. They always think they're going to get pickpocketed or robbed, even though their passports are very safe in their fanny packs under 3 layers of shirts. But you know what? I would honestly pay for a trip myself if it meant not having to see my dad in a Speedo. And then, when it comes to taking pictures, at least my boyfriend and friends know my angles. Every photo my family takes of me looks like a mugshot. Probably because vacationing with them is a prison. We also want to do different things when we're on vacation. My mom wants to go eat weird local foods. I just want to do normal vacation drugs. My mom wants to go see cathedrals. I'm like, we're Jewish. And we can see cathedrals anywhere if we do the drugs I bought. Thank you.
Sophie Buttle. We got ourselves a debate. All right, it is time now for the bare knuckle round. This is the mother of all debates, where we ask if adult children should travel with their folks. It will all become apparent. I kid you not. Let your argument take flight as you go the distance and hotel it like it is. Make sure your arguments are all inclusive, and if you have to go off resort on your opponent, go ahead. Just don't keep asking me, are we there yet? Or I swear to God, I will turn this debate around.
Jane, you talked about making memories with your parents. That doesn't mean they're good memories. I think that PTSD is memories.
All right. That is a relevant point.
One of my fondest memories is I got to go on the rides at Disneyland now because I'm tall enough, but my parents couldn't because they're shrinking. They're too short now. Life is sad.
So another thing is you always lose your parents whenever you go anywhere. I don't know what it is about parents, but the further they get away from you, the less they understand how to use their phone.
If I misplace my parents while traveling, all I have to do is look for the 2 Tilly hats. Good to go. I never forget anything when I'm traveling because my parents pack for me. And they always remind me, did you bring sunscreen?
Good talk, everybody. That's the bare knuckle round. Yep. Fond memories and not so fond memories. We're debating whether adults should travel with their parents on the Debaters on CBC Radio 1 or on Sirius Satellite Radio, or if you're here in the theater, it's here. It's time now for the firing line. In my hand, I have a list of questions on traveling with your parents, brought to you by Dinner Time. Dinner time, hey? Because it's got to be 4:30 somewhere. Here we go. What name has been given to the trend of young adults going on holiday with their elderly parents? Jane?
Favorite child.
It's not what I have here. Doesn't mean it's not right. Sophie?
Freeloading.
The actual answer is Jenner Vacation. Jenner Vacation. I don't make the answers. Mark Twain has said that traveling with people is the best way to find out what? Jane?
If they have read The Adventure of Tom Sawyer. I love you, Mom and Dad.
That's a nice plug there. Sophie?
Traveling with people is the best way to find out what kind of poop problems they have.
Also true. Twain said that traveling with people is the best way to find out whether you love them or hate them. That's what Mark Twain said. More likely, that's what Mark Twain's wife said. And that is the firing line, everybody. All right. Just about time for our beautiful Centennial Theater audience to pick a winner. But first, here again to say that when you pack your bags, always pack an extra for your parents. It's more Carrying On from Jane Stanton.
My parents really are two of the greatest people I know, mainly because they don't let me talk to strangers. So I don't know a lot of other people. But because of them, I've seen the world. I'm very thankful for them. I said I'm very thankful, Mom. Put your hearing aid on! So awkward. I love you. Thanks, Steve.
Jane Stanton. Jane Stanton is ready to travel somewhere with her parents right now. Now, here again to tell us she'd need a vacation after a vacation with her parents, it's humorous holiday taker, Sophie Buttle.
Traveling alone is better for your parents, too. When I was little, my dad went on a trip alone, and he loved it so much that he never came back. It's not my fault. Then, when I was in high school, my mom and I went to Spain together while she was going through a divorce. And we just basically spent the whole trip hiding cigarettes from each other. Everything your parents do on vacation is embarrassing. Until I saw my mom getting braids, I didn't realize hair could be racist. Thank you.
Sophie Buttle says adults should leave the parents at home. Jane Stanton says, of course they should vacation with their parents. It is up to the audience to decide. By applause, who thinks that Sophie's anti-parent vacation voice was victorious? Sophie Buttle. Okay. All right. And who was all about Jane's pro-parent walkabout? Jane Stanton. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. But the crowd has spoken, and they do not like their parents very much. The winner is Sophie Buttle. Don't take your parents on vacation. Big hand for Sophie Buttle and Jane Stanton, everybody. That's all for this week. I'm Steve Patterson saying it's been fun having this argument about vacationing with older parents. I'll be replaying it for my daughter in 16 years. I'll argue with you again soon, Canada. Good night.
The Debaters, created by Richard Side. Produced this week by Graham Clark, Nicole Callender, Katie Ellen Humphreys, and Josh Bailey. Technical production by Will Howie and Ross Bragg. Executive producer of CBC Radio Comedy is Tracy Rideout. And thanks to everyone at the Centennial Theatre in North Vancouver. Hey Brandon, Manitoba, The Debaters is coming to you. We'll be at the WMCA on April 3rd. For details, visit our website. We're cbc.ca/thedebaters.
For more CBC podcasts, go to cbc.ca/podcasts.